the summertime blues.
And that's right, we just buttered our bread.
Now we're gonna make tacos.
Hell yeah, because that's the Mark style. It doesn't make sense.
Yes, exactly. Basically, we're gonna finish what we started for once.
Yeah.
Here's part 2.
It's a miracle. We finished our... And we also finished our... And we finished that... All right, I'm trying to say finished thought sentences.
Yes,
anyway.
Exactly. All that stuff.
We do terrible at that. We never finish a goddamn thought or a fucking sentence.
We also plan out certain things, and we plug it for the future, and we never get to it. So if you're looking for our Dunkirk review or Dune...
Dunkirk?
Dunkirk, or our War of the Planet of the Apes, coming soon to a DVD.
2020.
Yeah, exactly.
We make it
we'll
that
get
far.
to that retro review.
Yeah.
Last year.
Whenever the apes actually take over, we will review Planet of the Apes.
Exactly.
Or whatever, War of the Apes. Apparently it's a really good movie. Maybe we should try to.
Yeah, we should.
Maybe.
But here we are for San Diego Comic-Con Part 2.
That's right. I completely forgot because we don't finish our... We're here for Part 2 of San Diego Comic-Con. We talked a lot about DC stuff. Yes, we saw your bitching and moaning. No, we didn't. But we figured we could read your mind.
We're sure it was
only DC stuff. So we're going to actually do the Marvel on this one. But first, we're going to start with some DC news.
Shocker!
We just want to finish the last couple things from the DC portion. There was a couple things we didn't quite get to. They're very small and minute, so we'll be able to plow right through them in about an hour.
And then the last 15 minutes or so will be Marvel. So stay tuned. Buckle up your seatbelts and...
Buckle up, buckaroo!
Ready for this long hour ride.
Very long.
Yes.
With no suspension.
and
you're going to feel every word. Ow, ow, ow.
Or power steering.
Oh, yeah, man, you get fucking strong forearms from that shit.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Good way to work the shoulders.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. So we're going to jump into the movies that were confirmed at San Diego Comic-Con, the future DC movies. The quick list that has been put out there is starting with Wonder Woman 2 has been confirmed.
Yeah. Is there going to be a Wonder Woman 2? No. No shit, there's going to be a Wonder Woman 2.
Well, we haven't gotten Man of Steel 2 yet, so people are still kind of wondering. But that's pretty sweet. But we kind of, a lot of stuff was already rumored. They're talking Cold War is kind of rumored, but...
I don't think so.
No, yeah, actually, there's a lot of stuff that's being put out there that's totally crapping on that idea, which I'm kind of glad. It sounds like it might be a post Justice League type movie instead of a pre Justice League, so that would be kind of cool. 2 prequels might be a little much. Then we have Suicide Squad 2. They are gonna take another stab at that. I thought that was pretty unique, but I think it's necessary. I really do. I think that they can do so much more. If you look at the slate right now of DC movies, and Suicide Squad is the one. Can't even think of that common term that's used.
Piece of shit.
yeah, basically. Thank you. So to be blunt, but it's
the most generic and basic of the 4.
It is, yeah, and you'd think that would be a little bit more successful,
and it's the lowest rated one of them all.
Yeah,
but it was done in a way where it's like it had too much potential. I mean, that thing had unlimited potential. Plus, their marketing was very piss poor. Because the way they showed the Joker, a lot of people thought this was going to be the Suicide Squad versus Joker. Yeah,
well, it was piss poor based on what the movie actually was. I thought the marketing was phenomenal as far as the trailers.
Well, what led up to the movie.
Yeah, but once you watch the movie, you're like, what the fuck? It was just a complete mess. We've talked about it before. That definitely was not the final cut. I don't care what what's his name, David Ayers.
Yeah.
I don't care what he says. That wasn't the final cut.
I'm gonna do Gotham City Sirens now.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Gotham City Sirens was not on this list though.
It's not been confirmed.
So it's just kind of out there. Then we have Justice League Dark has been confirmed. So obviously that is either going to be either a sequel to Justice League, or it sounds like it might just be a completely separate thing. And they're going to jump into some of the dark characters like Constantine.
Zatanna.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice.
Dead Man.
I don't finish my... And so then the next thing we have is the Green Lantern Corps was another one that was out there. So
I'm stoked.
Yeah, that It's been kind of out there for a while. I believe it was last year's San Diego Comic-Con where they had the poster with all the different movie logos, and then that's when you got the first look at Justice League logo. I think there was a couple other ones, and Green Lantern Corps was one of them. So that was pretty exciting. So it's nice to actually see them continuing with that, unlike Gotham City Sirens, where that's put out there and then, well, now it's not on any press release or anything, and as far as being confirmed. So it's pretty cool.
The Green Lantern Corps thing, I think, is the best way to do it. From what some people have described, and at this point, when it comes to DC rumors, it's really hard to believe anything at this point, even if it is positive.
Right.
It's really hard to believe. But
and we have a prime example of that that we're about to get into. But
there was like lethal weapon in space kind of thing, just like Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Yeah. Danny Glover, yeah. I wanted to say Donald Glover too.
Yeah. Danny Glover, and that's Murtaugh. Yeah, fuck right. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit. I want somebody to say that.
That would be fantastic.
I just want because from what they were kind of saying in the rumors that Hal Jordan might be a mentor, and Jon Stewart's going to be the younger upstart Green Lantern in it. And I just want, if Hal Jordan's the older guy in this, I really want him to say I'm too old for this shit.
That would be fantastic.
Perfect. It would be perfect. And I want DC to start making statements now. We need Guy Gardner. And he needs to have bowl cut.
Right? Has to happen.
Superman needs a mullet.
Yes.
Guy Gardner needs a bowl cut.
Yes.
Fucking bring it back.
Just do it.
Make a statement.
Don't shy away. Yeah, make a statement.
Don't be scared. Just do it.
Yes.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, and then next we got Batgirl has been confirmed, which we kind of already knew, but it's cool to see it kind of out there. Joss Whedon still at the helm of that.
And by the way, it's Joss Joss.
Yeah.
I have seen so many people keep calling him Josh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some people were saying Josh didn't really have that much to do on this Justice League trailer. Who the fuck is Josh?
All right. Well, thanks. We don't care. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I thought you were saying that when I say Joss, it sounds like okay.
I just been seeing. So many
try,
people,
but
I know it's a little hard because it's not a natural name,
right? Yeah,
like my speaking ability.
It's not very natural. Yeah. And then what else we got? Flashpoint, which I wanted to talk about this a little bit.
Hour.
Yeah, exactly. This is where we're getting to the hour. So Flashpoint has been confirmed, and a lot of people are shitting on it. This is basically going to be the solo movie for the Flash that we're assuming will be after Justice League, based after Justice League. And we talked about it a little bit with Tim on our last episode. Oh, by the way, we forgot to say we don't have Tim back on. If you couldn't guess, it's just Matt.
He's been very quiet the whole time.
So schedules were conflicted a little bit.
Bonjour. I want you to let me in.
He's actually at a Comic-Con in London, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
hanging out with shitty Iron Fist. I think I saw. It's like, wow, out of all the people you could take a picture with, dude, Iron Fist.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, so anyways,
no lying, that's lying.
we talked about it a little bit. No, I totally lost my train of thought. We were talking about Flashpoint and
briefly
Justice
with Tim
League
before.
Yeah. Anyway, so
never can finish thoughts.
Finish things.
Never finish sentences.
So yeah, a lot of people are shitting on it because they're now back to my train of thought. All over the place.
Clear!
I'm back. So what Matt had talked about on the last one is that we felt at some point that was going to be kind of a reboot.
Yeah.
That's where my train of thought was going.
I remember that. Originally, if you listen to our last one, I was thinking that if they were going to do Flashpoint Paradox at some point, I figured it would be much later down the line, and it would be used in some form as a reboot. Mm-hmm. You would bring people in, different people, because something different happened, and you can alter your universe, because just like in X-Men, people were alive when they weren't before in X-Men Days of Future Past. Some people change, some people for the better, some people for the worse, blah, blah, blah. Back to the Future, same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in time. That's all I know.
All right, perfect. So one of the things that a lot of people have been saying, which I thought this might be kind of cool. It may be confusing to the casual viewer, but that it could just be an Elseworld storyline that Ezra Miller is kind of a part of, and then there's the actual timeline. Yeah, basically that there's stuff with Thomas Wayne and everything that's kind of been put out there. I thought that would be kind of cool. The one thing that I've only seen one person say something about this before, and now I'm starting to lean towards that, is the fact that if you look at all the examples of stuff that's been taken from comic books, you look at Civil War, you look at Death of Superman, I guess even The Dark Knight Returns, those comic books have been used as kind of a guideline or stuff that's taken from it, but not actually the story itself. The death of Superman is nothing like, other than him dying, is nothing like Batman v Superman. So I actually think that could be a giant possibility, that maybe they use some of the stuff, but Flashpoint may just be the catchy name, or may kind of be like a guideline, but it still sticks to the same timeline that we have. We don't try rebooting anything. And so that's kind of what I'm starting to lean towards in my mind, is that it might just be used as kind of as a guideline instead of just a full take from the comic book itself. Because there's been a ton of people who are shitting on the idea that, they're saying, oh, this is unearned, it's too early, all this stuff. And I can half agree with that, but at the same time, the unearned bullshit, I'm like, okay, the people were saying the same thing about Superman's death, and I didn't really agree with that. But
what defines earned? Like, fuck off. Right? You don't know what defines earned. Because what, you have to justify its fucking validity? Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
What earned?
I think the comparison is Civil War was like what, the 13th movie or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And it wasn't anything like Civil War. So
no, exactly.
Suck a dick.
And it just
the fact that they arm wrestled for fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Civil dispute. Yeah. Hardly. Nothing was really justified, or nothing felt. They were at war with each other in my opinion. So it doesn't matter if it's the second movie in the universe or the 12th. It just has to be a good storyline. And I don't know, but I think that's kind of where, in my mind, where I feel like Flashpoint is probably going to go, and that made the most sense. And I'm surprised I've only seen one person. So I have no idea who it was. I just saw it on Instagram, and I kind of took that and ran with it and started thinking about it more. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? They didn't even use the example of, Batman v Superman. They just kind of blanketed and said, well, things are taken from comic books, but not fully used.
Well, I even mentioned that on our Instagram too.
Okay.
Yeah, because people were bitching about the Spider-Man possibly having the Clone Wars thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, but the clone saga was so terrible and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but like Civil War and Batman v Superman, they're going to take pieces from that. It's a concept. It's a name, really. And there's going to be some small things. They're going to have some iconic moments from those things. Like, stills and stuff, just like, Batman in that pose just before he's about to get hit by Doomsday's laser. And then they have the clash between Tony and Captain America. Right. Just they have those panels. Iconic, panel moments come to life a little bit, but that's and then they use the name sort of, and then they might do a little bit like Superman actually is killed by Doomsday in a much more brutal way. Well, I don't know. Depends how you look at it.
Yeah, it's this one's going to be a little bit harder, not to totally segue off, but I keep thinking he was stabbed in the chest in this one, and in the comic book, it's just more of like
he's
a beating.
Beaten to death. And that's what knocks him into a coma.
Right.
See, everybody keeps saying that he's not dead. He's in a coma. Motherfucker, he has a hole in his chest.
Right. So that's kind of the disbelievable part of I'm curious to see where they go. Zack Snyder kind of went out there a little bit more, and it was definitely a lot. You could feel it a lot more, when he stabbed in the chest, and the cool part where he pulls himself closer, and
you could feel it a little bit more.
Emotionally,
okay.
than just a beating, kind of thing. Because in the comic book, it went even further, where his suit's torn up, and and that's ultimately how Doomsday dies as well. From what I remember, is that Superman
they basically double KO.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like the UFC clip that we just saw earlier. It was almost a double KO.
They just needed a black guy with a ref come in there. There's one great MMA one where these two guys completely double KO each other.
No,
really?
Okay.
Falling the same way, hands laid out, and the black ref is just like, shit!
What do I do?
He doesn't know what to do, and he's just like,
I would sometimes. Yeah, seriously. I wouldn't know what to do either.
Yeah. I just raised a guy that's somewhat has his arms up. Yeah, I raised his hand up. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think you just do like the wrestling double count.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Holds up.
Yeah, exactly, one of them. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards, where I think Flashpoint's going to go.
Flashpoint's going to be interesting. Like I said with Sony, if they did do the Clone Saga, I thought it'd be really good to have that Elseworld storyline in your comic book series, because I think it ventures out into an area where no one else has at this point.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to do it with Flashpoint, I think. But if Sony can beat them to it, I mean, it's just a different area. We have the comics are so deep, and you could expand that and build off that forever. And same thing with DC. And I always thought that'd be really cool for them to do, not have the same Peter Parker and the same storylines and stuff, go into this different stuff where there could be multiple Spider-Men. It would be weird. It'd be weird, and if it was done right, it could be fucking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting really tired, and they've used this a lot with Flashpoint, is that everything needs to be more to the mainstream. And I get it. To an extent, that's who's gonna raise the box office numbers, that it does have to be mainstream. But people are shitting on DC because it's catered too much to comic book fans, that it's made for comic book fans. And when I'm watching it versus the people that I went with the first go round, there were certain parts where they had no idea. They didn't know it was the Flash reaching out. And honestly, when you are a comic book fan and you're familiar with so much of this stuff, that it's hard to say, yeah, make it a little bit more mainstream. And I just listened to this interesting interview, this really interesting podcast with Kevin Feige. And he was talking about that they can't go too far into the comic book lore because they have to keep it mainstream. And
right. That was my problem with Doctor Strange.
Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about. If this was a little while ago, I don't know how recent it was, but he was talking about it, and same thing with one of the writers for Doctor Strange was talking about how, we had all these cool concepts, but we were trying to keep it more mainstream. And I'm like, fuck you ruined the movie then.
Right.
It's not Doctor Strange. It's fucking Tony Stark and House. Fucking Harry Potter. No, it was House and Harry Potter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But if you can capture more of an audience and get these people bought in if it's less mainstream, and it forces them to research things. I don't know everything about every fucking comic book, especially on the Marvel side.
Right.
But what I do is, and we've kind of talked about this leading up to Thor Ragnarok, even though it's probably not going to be anything close to the comic books that are out there, we want to read those. I read Civil War before Civil War came out, and just different things of like kind of trying to understand and research it a little bit more. And I do get, like I said, that the mainstream audience has to be interested in these, but you can't forget the people who got you to this point, and
right.
It's the fucking comic book fans. So as you know, to your point, it stops sticking with just the Peter Parker because he's the one that everyone knows, and that they've seen him from the early 2000 movies or that trilogy. So like you said, you start branching out a little bit more, and if Flashpoint does that and it confuses people, fucking research it.
Well, even if people don't research it, I think if they know anything about Batman, this would almost be a twist to them to see Thomas Wayne is alive in
right.
Batman, and Martha is the Joker.
Right.
I think that would probably blow people's minds if that was they would think that's a huge twist because they wouldn't know anything about the comic.
Exactly.
And they'd be like, that. I think that would really fuck with people because we've watched his parents get murdered so many times. And now to see that it's Bruce Wayne gets murdered and the parents survive and one loses it and becomes a bat, and the other one fucking just, I don't know, all the screws fall out and just becomes the Joker, I think would be a fascinating story. Yeah. And I think it would really, really be fresh for mainstream.
Yeah.
I think people would be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That concept that Thomas and Martha Wayne could actually survive and Bruce is the one that's murdered, I think that would be like the twist alone that would really make that movie great.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So again, it doesn't have to stick to the mainstream.
Plus the Martha jokes will probably be pretty funny.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, no shit.
Bruce. Maybe that when Bruce gets shot, he'll be like, Martha. Why didn't you say mom? Yeah. Why wouldn't you say mom? No, Martha. Thomas.
Oh man. So on that note, another one that was confirmed, which we still kind of already knew about, was the Batman. It's something we're excited for, but one thing that we wanted to touch on
is that there was an article floating around there that Ben Affleck is confirmed to signing on for a trilogy of Matt Reeves, and then that was going to end in like a Batman Beyond style trilogy. So the third one was going to be an older Bruce Wayne passing the mantle off to Terry McGinnis or some shit like that. And it was it was fascinating that it was spread around in pretty mainstream websites.
Yeah.
And then they did kind of refute some of it. A lot of the articles I read did refute, but they provided the source, which was like fortressofsolitude.com or .org or .net or some shit. And and I was like, okay. And the first thing, you read the title on there, and it's written by Edward Nygma.
And for those mainstream listeners, that's the Riddler.
I was like, what? And people like actually reported this?
Right.
Like even if it's supposed to be like a surname or whatever that's called, like a ghostwriter name or some shit. I forgot what they called that. Like a pen name.
Yeah,
Some shit
pen
like
name,
that.
right.
Even if it's supposed to be something like that, fuck you.
Right.
Like if you think that's funny to fucking make your pen name Edward Nygma, like, oh, it's gonna be funny.
Yeah, because I'm writing a Batman article.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I will say that if that is true, which I doubt it is, and even when I first read, haven't read a single article on it. I just saw the headline and was like, I doubt that's true. But if it was, that would go back to the point we were just talking about on them branching out a little bit, seeing maybe an older Bruce Wayne. That would be kind of cool.
Well, I believe in 2002, and we might, we could possibly do something like this to fill up that time between November and here. But they were going to do a Batman Beyond story when it was at the peak, when the cartoon was out and stuff like that. They were going to do a live action version.
I
script,
remember that.
They had directors. They were looking for a guy to star in it. They might have had somebody to play Terry McGinnis. I cannot remember. But they were lining that one all up, and it fell through like a lot of WB projects do. And we're going to talk about some of them to fill in that gap from here to November.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I do remember that. I think Batman Beyond was a little bit past what not past my time because I still watch some of the cartoons, but I never got into that. I knew about a lot of it. I understood a lot of what was going on, but I never got into it. But I knew that it was doing really well merchandise wise. I don't know as far as being successful as the animated Batman the Animated Series, but I know it was doing pretty well. Yeah. So, and the fact it shows that it was doing really well because they were contemplating doing a live action movie. And so maybe they'll fucking take from that script.
I think they have. I think they do.
Yeah.
They got WB has probably got so many scripts that they've paid for over time.
Oh shit.
They could fill out a fucking storyline for 2050
or a universe possibly.
Maybe.
So one other quick thing before we segue into the next movie, I just wanted to talk about this thing talking about from Screen Rant. And I shared it on our Instagram page, and Screen Rant posted this thing on Twitter saying, the Batman, Joe Manganiello says, Deathstroke appearance not up to me. And then Joe Manganiello, I hope I'm not butchering his name, actually retweeted it and said, you misquoted me. That's not what I said. Check your clickbait, please. And I fucking love this. I was like, that's so fantastic. I'm glad that actors are finally starting to say, no, that's bullshit. Because I feel like a lot of times, you look at like Patty Jenkins, for example, when she was talking about like how frustrated she was that she couldn't say anything about the clickbait. And you're seeing all this stuff about how Wonder Woman is just, total garbage and everything like that. Yeah, thank you. It's a mess. And she was frustrated because she wanted to say something but couldn't. And I'm sure it's a little bit different because they were in filming, at that point versus now it's just kind of out there. We know that he's been cast, but I do love it that an actor is finally saying, no, that's bullshit. And he even used the term, check your clickbait. Like that's fucking awesome. And then someone actually commented, it's Austin Black 66, and he actually said Joe always calls out shifty reporters. There was one article that took a photo of his wife and photoshopped her wedding ring out and said she was cheating on him. Then he called them out, and then he said he's so awesome. And I basically replied and said, yeah, I hope that more actors start to do this, because if sites start to lose credibility, and Screen Rant for me that was kind of a go-to place. Get a lot of my movie news from what was from Screen Rant, and maybe if they stop trying to hook people in with a fucking garbage title on Twitter, they'll actually become reliable sources instead of right now it's let's see how we can hook people in and what we can do. And it's not just in this industry. I listened to a podcast recently that was talking about something in wrestling and how they were constantly pumping out this thing, this specific article. It was on China. I don't know if anyone's familiar with her, but when she passed away, this guy put out this article, and they had a group of people, and it was like every 2 or 3 hours, they had to, a part of the website was to tweet out a catchy hook so that readers would go to it. And a couple of them one in particular kind of got them in trouble because it had nothing to do with the article. It was just a catchy hook, and it was on Twitter to get people to listen to it, or to read it in this case. And so it's mind-boggling that it's in different industries, and I just wanted to bring it up because it's cool to see actors starting to call people out, especially in the public, and say, look, Screen Rant, stop, pull your heads out of your fucking asses. Stop trying to have a catchy tweet and, just put the article out there and people will read it. Anything to add?
Nope, that's it.
All right, so the last confirmed movie was Shazam, and I think there was also
Nothing happened to him when he said that. He did not change into a bigger, muscular person.
No, still scrawny, 5'8" me. Wah, wah, wah. But I think there was also, I haven't seen anything, but I think Black Adam, the standalone movie, was kind of floating out there as being confirmed as well. I didn't see it in the lists that were floating out there, but Shazam is out there. And we also know that The Rock and Black Adam will not be the main villain in the first Shazam movie. So I thought that was interesting. No. Nothing to add.
Oh, okay. I thought you had more thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to stop your thought.
No, I do. I thought that was a little confusing because we thought that's where the whole thing was going with The Rock. And I was kind of confused that Black Adam was going to have a solo movie. So I don't know where they're going with this. Who is Black Adam going to fight?
I don't know.
Superman. That's been the rumor.
I just wonder if they're just gonna have him float into like the Justice League and maybe have some team up movies and shit like that. Maybe he'll be in Green Lantern Corps for some fucking weird ass reason. But I don't understand why you don't have Black Adam in a Shazam movie. That's like fucking
right.
Like I don't know that much about Shazam. But that's like Shazam's only fucking.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do the same bullshit that's been done before. You build up to it. If you look at the Green Lantern movie, they kind of had a little bit of a. Was it even a after credits scene?
Yeah, with Sinestro putting on the yellow ring.
Right. Was that an after credits? I feel like that was right at the end of the movie. But yeah,
that's what the credits are.
Okay, yeah. So they were just trying to build. Fuck off. They were just trying to build to the villain instead of having him in the first one. So I'm assuming that's kind of where this is gonna go. But it's weird. It's confusing. We still don't have a casting for Shazam.
Nope.
So which is kind of surprising because everything that I've read is that they're supposed to start filming in 2018 and it's supposed to be released in 2019. So I'm like, okay, well, you need an actor at some point to play the lead. Going back to that Kevin Feige podcast that I listened to recently, or that he was on, he talked about that they I can't remember which ones it was, but he's had 2 movies so far that they did not have a lead actor for, and they kind of started filming and putting things together around it, and then they got the lead actor. And I want to say Iron Man was one of them, but I could be wrong. But anyways, that's not a good route to go. if you're trying to be released in 2019,
especially when you have The Rock, have Dwayne The Rock Johnson as your figurehead for Black Adam. He should be your goddamn near poster boy at this point. You need to get him in the front and have him in something, because this guy is gonna help boost your sales and make your universe better. I say they scrap the Black Adam thing and just make him Jon Stewart. Fuck it. I mean, you'd have to get an incredibly huge Hal Jordan because Jon Stewart would just tower over. I mean, maybe Armie Hammer, I guess, but Armie Hammer has already been quoted as saying that he's talked to his agent multiple times, like, anything from WB? Like, he's wanting it. Like, he started believing the fucking fan casting so much.
It's weird that they haven't. It's so weird, and some people were saying maybe him for Shazam. There's another guy, I follow him on social media, and I can't even fucking think of his name. But there's another guy.
That's about right.
Yeah, the usual. There's another guy that a lot of people were putting out there, and I thought would be a perfect Shazam. He was in a TV show on ABC Family that turned into Freeform. He was on the TV show, and he's a pretty big dude.
John Travolta?
And what?
No,
I don't even get the joke. I'm just totally lost.
I'm just throwing names out.
Okay. Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
That was the joke.
That
just
was
throwing out fucking man. Yeah, I can't think of his name. But anyways, he. A lot of people were saying that he would be a really good Shazam, and I was like all over that. I thought that would be cool. And now he's cast as a TV guy in one of Marvel's recent TV things.
Runaways?
Yes. He's cast in that.
Okay.
So people are like, Help me out here.
I'm throwing you bones. I gave you John Travolta, and you looked at me funny.
Wow, that's a great bone. I appreciate it.
I'm going to cut that up now.
Every time.
Play some good techno music over that one. Maybe some Marvin Gaye.
That would be better. That would be a lot better. All right, that's all I got. No, I'm just kidding. So, do you have anything else to add with Shazam?
I can't believe, one, you have The Rock on the sideline, and two, who the fuck is Shazam going to fight?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Comment, let us know. Whoever listens to this, email us, whatever. I don't know Shazam very well. Really, all I know Shazam is Black Adam. I can't think of anything else.
Me neither.
Any magical, maybe something from like Justice League Dark, because it's magic. Maybe something from there.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't know. I
think the magic people kind of stay off on their own side and shit.
Yeah.
So, and Shazam's kind of magic based. So unless all these rumors about a dark Superman become true, and now you need somebody to beat him,
maybe
Shazam would be the only one.
Right. But then who the fuck is Black Adam supposed to fight? That's where this is all getting. It's
Stupid.
becoming a jumble. Yeah. So I guess time will tell.
Actually, one last thing I wanted to bring up. There's an article on Heroic Hollywood, I believe it is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it's a great article, and our YouTube video, we'll post a link in the description. Yeah, I said that right. Post a link in the description.
Yeah.
And definitely check it out. It was a great article about the clickbait and the rumors, the vicious rumors in the DC universe. Breaking the action there. I wanted to pause, and I wanted to make sure I actually got all this information right about this guy before I started rambling on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's from Heroic Hollywood. It's written by a guy named Christian Michael Stiok, I guess. And the article's name was The DC Extended Universe's Troubles with Vicious and Misleading Rumors. And I think it's a fantastic article, and it nails the toenail very well. Right on that ankle.
All right.
I don't know. I was trying to come up with a shitty phrase like I did with the toast and tacos thing earlier.
It didn't
work out. So he hit the nail on the fucking head.
Yeah.
With a screwdriver. There we go. Anyway.
There we go. That's perfect.
But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic article. I mean, there has been clickbait with Marvel, but it's nowhere near as rampant and as misleading and as vicious as he put as the DC ones. Like, these ones are just insane how they degrade the DC. They fucking just talk about so much shit, and it doesn't matter. And they don't retract any of this stuff. No. They don't apologize. There's nothing that goes on. It's like the Batfleck rumors. No one ever said, like, oh, well, I think it's more of Ben Affleck's covering his ass than anything else. And then they were talking about the reshoots with the mustache gate and all this bullshit. Oh, my God. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
No one gives a shit about a guy's mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, they're making fucking nothing.
Yeah.
They're using nothing. They're using a mustache to write articles. And it's been rampant.
Yeah.
It has been rampant, and it's pathetic. It is completely pathetic.
Yeah.
I just can't get over it. I just can't get over it. And this is where they're at right now. And he kind of says that they just need to make, if they have more critically acclaimed movies like Wonder Woman, that maybe this will go away. I don't know if it ever will. I can't see if they're bitching about a mustache.
Right.
At this point, I don't care what, even if Justice League is like an 80+% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Even if it is, they're still not going to they're still going to be like, well, WB is disappointed that Justice League didn't get in the high 90s of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're rethinking their system, and they're going to fire Joss Whedon as Batgirl or whatever.
As Batgirl. Probably.
And it's just going to be, made up articles and shit afterwards, and I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever end. It'll only really end if people stop clicking on it.
Yes, exactly. That's what I don't understand is I don't know if people, which I did this a while ago too. Yeah, spreading it's a big one, but if people don't click on it, then you have nothing. So even if you know that it's bullshit, just don't click on it, because you have to know that as soon as you do that, I've seen people especially on Facebook, they'll comment, they'll be like the top comment with a ton of likes, and they'll say it's complete bullshit. This is what the article says, so you don't have to click on it. But that person fucking clicked on it. Just know by the headline that it's bullshit.
Yeah, that was me.
You do stuff like that?
Well, I clicked on that one to show the difference for the Edward Nygma.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You have to click on it.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. But because that's how they're getting the statistics. and they're going, okay, people want to listen to, or they want to read this. I keep saying listen to.
We're in the podcast world.
I know, yeah.
That's all we care about.
They want to read this, and they just keep pumping it out, and they know that it's hooking people, and then other pages, they'll use it on Instagram or whatever, and that blows their page up, and it's just fucking, it's horrible. And the article that Matt said, we'll include it in YouTube, and then I actually believe I can include it on our website as well. So once this episode comes up, well, I'll include it on that, and you can find it on there. It's a great article. Highly recommend it. It really explains the clickbait, and especially the
tactics.
And the lopsidedness between DC and our frustration and what Marvel doesn't deal with any of this bullshit.
I mean, there's some extent. I remember when like Edgar Wright was released from Ant-Man. There was a little bit of a pissing,
Not much,
and moaning
though.
about it. I mean, but there was some. And even when Ant-Man came out, I still remember hearing people like, well, it would have been a lot better if Edgar Wright did it and stuff like that. And then, the Robert, I think he even brought this up, the Robert Downey Jr. contracts issues and shit like that. So it was just, Marvel does have some, but not to where the point where it's like mustaches.
Right. Yeah, exactly. and I feel like it's glossed over. Like, people will, at least in the articles I've read, especially with like the Tony Stark contract thing, that when the articles that get put out, they try to make sure they are walking the fine line and not stepping on any toes, and that they put a lot of but this and accept that kind of thing in there to let you know the information, but they kind of like half retract it at the same time, and you don't get any of that. It's this is gold. This is exactly what's happening in the DC camp, and you should be afraid. And they need
source says the insider says that these reshoots are gonna cost them $20 million. Okay,
all right. You have a solid source there.
Awesome.
Apparently, I have solid.
It was originally
sources
supposed
too.
to be 6 to 10, but now it's gonna be 20.
Right. Well, my source says that it was 30.
Oh shit!
So my
Dollars?
source is yes.
They got him a fucking Gillette. They bought Henry Cavill a Gillette razor.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid Gillette.
Well, with the blades.
for $30. That's true. Oh man.
Okay, now.
Yes, back into this Shazam and the segue that we were working into. Real quick, when we were talking on that, I wanted to make my corrections. It was Derek Thieler, and he was cast in the New Warriors as Mr. Immortal.
So not Runaways like we were just talking about. So, okay.
And yeah, so if you've seen, I'm sure you've seen him. A bunch of people have fan casted him.
Never seen him.
He's like 6'6". What? You've never seen him?
No.
That's the AT&T girl, by the way. That's cast in as Squirrel Girl.
No idea. No idea who the hell that is.
Okay.
Not a joke.
Wow.
No clue.
You have
Who's AT&T?
From the commercials.
Oh, the AT&T wireless phone commercials?
Yeah, when people walk in and they
fucking watch commercials. Are you
not even the
kidding?
Super Bowl. Come on, you should have seen her. Anyways,
I don't pay attention during the Super Bowl.
So her name is Milana Vaintrub or something. But anyways, back to my point.
She doesn't look like she has very big titties.
He may or may not be able to play Shazam because now he's been cast as in the New Warriors as Mr. Immortal. So there you go. I corrected myself. Holy
Maybe that's
shit,
code
that
for
was
Shazam.
brutal. That could be Mr. Immortal.